Once upon a time in the quirky town of Giggleford, there lived a man named Waldo Wafflepants. Waldo was not your average fellow. He had a peculiar job. He was the town's official unloser of things. His mission? To find anything anyone ever lost, no matter how trivial. One sunny morning, Mrs. Puddlebottom came knocking on Waldo's door, her face as red as a ripe tomato. "Waldo," she gasped, "I've lost my knitting needle, and I need it for the annual yarn-off in an hour." Waldo, in his pajamas and a detective hat, nodded solemnly. "Fear not, Mrs. Puddlebottom. I shall retrieve your needle, or my name isn't Waldo Wafflepants." Armed with nothing but a magnifying glass, a fishing net, and a sandwich, because every detective needs sustenance, Waldo set off. He scoured the town square, peeked under every leaf in the park, and even interrogated the town statue of Sir Humphrey the Humorous, who, oddly enough, seemed to have a smirk on his face. After hours of searching, Waldo was about to give up when he heard a tiny, metallic clink from above. Looking up, he saw his sandwich, which he had tossed into the air out of boredom, had landed on the roof of Mrs. Puddlebottom's house, impaling a knitting needle. Waldo, never one to waste a sandwich, climbed the roof, retrieved both the needle and his lunch, and returned to Mrs. Puddlebottom. "Your needle, ma'am, and a sandwich for your troubles." Mrs. Puddlebottom, knitting needle in hand and sandwich in mouth, cheered, "You've saved the day, Waldo." She then entered the yarn-off, where she knitted a scarf so long it wrapped around the entire town square, making everyone laugh until they cried. That evening, as Waldo sat down to enjoy what was left of his sandwich, the mayor declared a new holiday, Waldo Wafflepants Day, where everyone would celebrate by losing something and then finding it again, with Waldo leading the parade, proudly wearing his detective hat and carrying his fishing net, officially the hero of Giggleford. And so, in Giggleford, every time someone misplaced something, they'd laugh, knowing Waldo Wafflepants was on the case, making the mundane act of losing things the town's favorite comedy routine.